Welcome, mechanical engineering students. In this relatively short video, I want to cover a few really important items: pan, zoom, and rotate. The first thing I'd like to mention is on the right side of the screen here, we see something known as a navigation bar. And within this navigation bar, going from top to bottom, we have pan, zoom, and rotate respectively. The pan command is this little hand icon, and if I were to left click with my mouse, notice that the cursor changes to a little hand, and then if I left click and move my mouse to the right or to the left or up and down, you can see that I'm moving the part. I can also access the pan command by pressing F2 on my keyboard and holding it down, and then left clicking on the mouse, and again it does the same thing. There's actually a third option. If you have a mouse that has a left button, a right button, and a center scroll wheel, you can click and hold the center scroll wheel, and again, it does the same thing. So that's panning in a nutshell. What about zooming? There's a few ways you can zoom. One way is to hit F3 on your keyboard, and then click and hold the left mouse and move it. If you move the mouse up, as I'm doing here, vertically up, it makes the part small. If I move the mouse down, you can see it's making the part bigger. There are other ways you can zoom, which is if you come to your navigation bar and then click on the drop-down menu, we see we have different options. And one of them is something known as zoom window. So let's say you wanted to look at a specific region of the part or region of the screen. I find this to be particularly helpful. So if I click on zoom window, we see that the cursor changes to this little rectangular icon, and if I left click and hold and make this rectangle relatively larger, and here I wish to zoom in on this upper hole here on the left side of the part and then release the mouse button, you can see that I'm zoomed into this region. Now how do you zoom back out? There are several different ways. Again, I can use F3 and then move my mouse up and down to move the part, make the part bigger or smaller respectively. I can also hit the F6 command, which brings me back to the home view. The final thing to discuss today will be rotation. And often when we work with three-dimensional parts, you typically have to rotate them around to see different features or different orientations of the part. Perhaps you're cutting and pasting images into a presentation, and you want to show off different views. There's several different ways you can do this. I bring your attention to something known as the view cube. And the cube itself has different words printed on the various faces, such as top, front, and right. So for example, if I hit front, it changes the orientation of the cube and the orientation of the part. And you can manipulate the object as shown. You can see you can get lots of different parts. And if you click the home button, lots of different views rather of the part. If you click the home button, it brings you back to the home view. How else can we rotate? I can rotate by coming back to my navigation bar and then clicking on the navigation command. And if I want to conduct what is known as a free orbit, I have to move my cursor inside of this target circle that you see here. And then by pressing and holding the left mouse button, I can move my mouse left and right, up and down, and you can see that I'm changing the orientation of the part in space. You can also perform some other specialized rotations by making sure your mouse is outside of this target circle. And for example, if I want to rotate about this axis, I can move my part up and down this way. If I click on or move my mouse over to this horizontal line, and I can swing the part in different directions or different orientations to show different views, different perspectives. The rotate command can also be accessed by the F4 key, the function F4 key on your keyboard. So if you select this and then again move your mouse inside the target circle and then left click on your mouse, you can see once again we can manipulate the part in this fashion. So the keyboard and the mouse are often the quickest and fastest ways to manipulate parts, but don't be afraid of using the different menus on the right side on the navigation bar or the view cube to help you manipulate the part in any orientation you see fit. So this basically covers what I wanted to talk about today. And it's a little daunting and confusing at first, and the best way, of course, to get better and better at it is just to play with it, open up a part, move it around. Within 5 or 10 minutes, you can become pretty good at zooming in, panning, and rotating the part to any orientation you desire. So thank you so much for your time and attention today.